Welcome to this week's edition of the Sports Scoop Coaches Show. Joining me is Ted. Oh
Nope.
no, it's Mr. Blue Jay.
Yep. You can call me Nick.
I wonder why we've got a Blue Jay head on.
Oh, I wonder, ooh.
Led you into that one, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Who wrote the book of love?
Well, we're going to talk basketball, and as you may have guessed, if you've lived in a cave and haven't heard, we do have one team still alive on the boys' side.
Who'd that be?
Mr. Blue Jay.
Really?
But quickly first, we'll talk about the team that's not here. WEM had a great season, had a 16-game winning streak, had the rubber game against Maple River in the subsection championship. Maple River wins 51-46, and Maple River went on to defeat Belle Plaine, so they will be going to state. The Bucks, Jeff Wagner's crew, last year they were 19-9. This year they finish up 25-4, and not much to show for it.
Yeah, they do. They had a 25-4 record. But the only teams that are going to end up with a win are the teams that win the titles, right?
I went to the Maple River WEM game, and
I can't do this anymore.
yeah, I don't blame you.
Holy crap, my nose is going to get cut.
We need to see your face anyway, Teddy. There's a lot of viewers out there that tune in just to see you.
Got Sunday morning here out there, folks. Okay, ready.
WEM and Maple River, it was, as expected, a defensive struggle, but that is not one of the better games I have seen Waterville play.
No, I had my source, Craig Howard. He was there, and he said, geez, they just didn't play like they normally did.
Well, the thing that was disappointing, of course, Zach Olson had maybe, granted, I've only seen him 6-8 times, in person, had, I'm sure, the worst shooting night I've ever seen, but much of that is to Maple River's defense.
Correct.
They double-teamed him. But the thing that was disappointing to me was the other seniors that have been scoring big for the Bucks gave them nothing. Doran Kemper just was silent out there.
Teigmeyer, what did he do?
Teigmeyer was very silent and made some crucial turnovers at the end, and things just didn't go right, but you got to credit that. It's a big game, a big situation, a big crowd, a different court, and a very good defensive team you're playing against.
And Waterville's a good defensive team also.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
But the Bucks finish up then 25-4, and short of the state that they were aiming for, but another great season for Wag and the boys. But we have to move on to the Waseca Blue Jays, facing the third-ranked team in the state, Marshall, for the section championship, a right to go to state. Marshall had defeated Waseca by 16 points about 2 weeks previous for the Big South overall championship. I think there probably would have been about 15 people in the gym that would have given the Jays a chance, and that was probably the parents of the players.
Well, I was listening to it on the radio, but I couldn't tell. The announcers are so subdued and so dull. They didn't get excited or anything, and I'm thinking, geez, they said they'd bet the mortgage on their house that Marshall would win the ball game.
I would have been home.
I don't know who the two announcers were, but
I could have been homeless now if anybody would have offered me a bet, Ted, because I would have had to move in with you or Andy.
Yeah, well, Don White wouldn't want to move in with him because he wouldn't be there either.
The farm would have been gone. But in a classic game that they'll be talking about long after we're all gone, Waseca defeats Marshall 103-100 in 4 overtimes. Just a classic. And besides the shot heard around the world, there were 6 or 7 other just critical plays that were made in that game. Waseca had the game won in regulation. Marshall goes the length of the court and throws up a three-pointer. It kind of hangs and everybody starts cheering, and then it drops in. That sends it into an overtime.
Got a question?
Yes.
Okay. I had my JWP banquet that night, so obviously I couldn't be there. And Ricky Johnson, former player of mine, he's twittering or whatever you do with those gizmos, and he's saying, Waseca's ahead. And I said, what? And it was only like maybe 3 minutes into the third quarter or some second half. And I said, geez, maybe we could drive over. We were done with the banquet. And I said, maybe we could drive over there and catch the end of the ball game. He said, nah, probably not. Well, then we didn't know it was going to go 4 overtimes. We could probably see all 4 overtimes.
Yeah.
But so we're listening to it on Twitter or whatever. Dan Ring, the writer for the paper, and then I said, well, it's probably on the radio. So let me turn you guys on. Holy crap. I had to turn the volume down 3 times. Jeez. But it was just exciting to listen to it on the radio. And then you see everything with the afterwards at KUYC when they show the highlights, and the ESPN picks it up, and Dan Patrick has it on his show and everything else. I mean, it went viral. It was
Good Morning America, the New York Times, the Washington Post.
You name it.
Players from both teams were guests at the Timberwolves game last night. I didn't see or hear that, but I mean, I guess it was really a neat thing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, you go from a no-name to a hero. And I love Shane Strike. Those of you that didn't hear, Nick Dufault threw in an 80-foot shot at the end of the third overtime.
Cole Strike.
Nick Dufault.
But you said Shane Strike.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Threw in an 80-foot shot at the end of the third overtime with 1 second left to force a fourth overtime. And then Cole Strike hits one from the top of the key to win the game. And I loved his comment in the Free Press. He said, that was probably the last one they wanted to see get the ball. And I'm thinking, yeah, Elijah Carter was already called out in your nets. You probably were. But give him credit. He got the ball at half court. He turned and went to the top of the key and put it up without hesitating and drilled it.
That smile was as big as you could see.
Oh, just a fantastic, fantastic game.
Yep.
Don't know what to say.
How much more time we got, Andy?
So the Jays, 20-9, will go to the 3A state tournament. Wednesday, they play the final quarterfinal game at Williams Arena. That starts at 4 o'clock. And what they do, for those of you who don't know, they seed the top 5 teams in the state field. 4 plays 5, and then 1, 2, and 3, they randomly draw the 3 that aren't seeded. You get 1, you get 2. Well, the Jays did as well as they could do if you aren't seeded, and they might have done a little better than even if they were seeded.
Yep.
Because they drew the number 3, not to say that that's easy, but it's Fergus Falls. It's a northern team. I was always glad when you drew a northern team because I'm figuring all the good players are out for hockey. And you're in the opposite side of De La Salle, which is supposed to be better than anyone.
The cream of the class, yeah.
But Fergus Falls is 26-3, so evidently they're a decent team, but you don't expect any gimme games now.
Well, I looked up online, and they lost to, let's see, St. Cloud Apollo, and another St. Cloud team, and then they lost to Sauk Rapids. That was it. That's all they lost to. But they won a lot of close games, so that bodes well for us. If we get a close game, we're going to take them down because they're not used to playing a southern team.
Yep.
But you remember when Waseca went there and they played Hawley?
Yep.
And Hawley ran one of the first times you ever saw the flex offense, and we were too stubborn to go to the zone, and we got beat by them. And that was at Williams Arena. Well, this is going to be at Williams Arena, and it's going to be, I mean, it's just a highlight of your coaching career and your playing career. It's unreal.
And I guess I hadn't thought of this, but they're saying that Waseca's on the 14-year plan.
Okay, I didn't see that.
They went in 2016, they went in 2002, they went in 1988, and they went in 74. Now, I think they also went in 75, but...
Well, you should know.
Every 14 years...
What year did you graduate?
We don't want to talk about that.
But it was before 74,
before the 14-year plan started.
Well, you got to tell me this, and if you viewers out there, I'm sorry to bore you, but when I first moved here, Tank Larson told me about a game in the old gym at Waseca that supposedly worth 10 points a game because the crowd is there by 4 o'clock or whatever. He said that Red Wing beat us on a last-second shot, like a half court.
That was not at Waseca, though.
That was in Austin.
That was in Austin? Okay, I needed to know that.
That was
1972.
And the name of the kid was a Bomback.
Yep.
You can remember that?
Oh, yeah.
72.
Watched
Folks,
it on TV. It was on TV.
It was on TV. Was it black and white or was it color back then?
It was channel 6.
Just on the other side of the half-court line, and I do remember Jack Gray, wasn't he? He was the big name, wasn't he?
Isn't it?
I believe that's the year Waseca started out with 3 or 4 losses, and that was Manny made one of his famous statements. I don't care if Gray has 4 people on him, get him the ball.
Oh my gosh.
So
now you can't remember his anniversary.
No,
you can remember this stuff like it was yesterday.
I can't remember my own birthday, but put sports up there and I'm good. So Wednesday, 4 o'clock, the Jays and Fergus Falls at Williams Arena, the Barn.
Yep, we got slighted there when we went to JWP and we had to play.
2008.
When's your anniversary? Anyhow, we had to play in Mariucci Arena, which was a nice venue, but we wanted to go to the Barn and play in there, just say you played in there, and but the Williams Arena, that's the cupcake.
Well, Don and I are a little disappointed that it is at Williams because to broadcast a game there, you got about 2 miles
Yeah,
of steps to get up to the radio.
It's good exercise. Get ready for golf.
Yeah, but Don's hernia.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was a hemia.
I might be carrying the bag and him.
Oh,
so
God.
who knows? We'll get there.
We can get one of those trusses they use for hernias. I don't know. Buy them online. Okay.
Hey, girls basketball in the area, we still have one team alive as well, WEM.
Yep.
The Bucks now have a 21-game winning streak. Wow. They are 25-3, Gabe's Hauer crew. They defeated Fairmont 46-41 in the subsection semifinals. Monday, they will battle old conference foe NRHEG for the subsection title. The Bucks have won by 9 and by 17 in the 2 meetings this year.
They've got the size.
They've got the size.
New Richmond doesn't have that size, unfortunately.
Whoever wins between WM and NRHEG will play for the section title in a trip to state Friday at MSU Arena against the St. Peter Norwood Young America winner. So,
hey.
Still alive, still going.
I tell you what, they always say success breeds success. Well, those girls are taking that volleyball championship, and they just carried over into basketball. And then it's funny what a thing like confidence can do like that.
You bet. NRHEG, they will go into the Monday game with a 5-game winning streak, and they're 22-6 for the year.
And what a real exciting game there to get there.
They defeated Blue Earth 44-42 in overtime to get to that one. So those two Gopher foes will square off Monday night. The Blue Jays saw their season come to an end with only 2 seniors on the team. They lost to Mankato East 47-39, and the Jays actually led 39-34 with 5 minutes left and got outscored 13-0 the rest of the way.
Well, they had somebody fall out that was instrumental in
Taylor
that.
Hiller fouled out.
I don't think they scored after she fouled out.
The Jays, who were 23-6 last year, finished this year 14-13. But as we mentioned, everybody back except Aubrey Hyam and Allison Breck.
Yep.
So they'll return a slug next year. We got to talk a little, Teddy, about the state hockey tournament. The boys just wrapped it up, and I don't think there was probably a person in the world that wasn't happy to see Hermantown win. They defeat Breck 5-0. Hermantown had finished second in the state 6 years in a row. Oh my goodness.
That's 7th time's a charm.
7th is a charm. They really dominated Breck, who had looked so tough the first 2 games. Happy for the Hawks, 5-0 over Breck. And they had a great game in the AA last night. Waseca was down to Eden Prairie 3-1, scored the final 4 goals. Defeats Eden Prairie 5-3.
That was unbelievable.
That was a great game to watch.
One's 3-1, and they had that Middlestead. Holy cow. That guy, where's he going to school? I didn't see.
I didn't either.
Oh, my God. Whoever was going to get him, what a hockey player. I mean, he was the most electrifying guy on the ice. As soon as he'd get the puck, he'd go through like 3 guys and always set up his teammates or score himself. And that was fun to watch.
Yes.
I didn't give Waseca a chance when they were down 3-1.
I don't think anyone did.
No. But it was exciting. And then Mankato West, they were there. And they ended up not winning the consolation bracket, but they showed well up there. Unfortunately, had to make Breck the first game.
Yeah.
But they showed they belonged up there.
We should mention the state boys basketball tournament starts this week. 1A they have not seeded yet because they had one team, Mountain Iron, I think, won the section last night. So they're going to seed this morning, but a team that eliminated JWP, St. Clair, is going.
Yeah.
They knocked off Cleveland.
I know, I saw the game.
And Teddy had them on the ropes.
Oh, God. What'd you have to bring that up for?
I thought that would make you feel a little better.
It made me feel really good.
Yeah.
I predicted they'd beat Cleveland because it's that old adage, 3 times in a season. Yeah. And they were both good games, the first 2. Everybody kind of thought, well, Cleveland would just, no. And Maple River shot out to like a 12-2 lead. And then Cleveland came back, give them credit, and they took the lead, a 1-point lead in the second half. And then this Goebel and this Weber. Weber, good grief. Goebel's a senior, but this Weber's a sophomore, and looks like he's about 32. And he's just sculpted. And he's like 6'5" and about 220, and he's left-handed, and he's just a real deal. He dominated the boards. Then he has a streak where he get the ball, the offensive rebound, and he can't put the putback in. Then he gets his own rebound, can't put the putback in. Then he go out and hit a 3. That's just the way the guy is. But he was like 1 for 8 from the free throw line, so that game couldn't have been even. It would have been a lot bigger blowout if he just made some free throws. It was fun to watch. It was over at Bresnan Arena. and the crowd was there. And then they also had the Maple River game afterwards. And Maple River is also, give Waterville credit, Maple River's going to state.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And how about the Clippers?
yeah,
28-1 going into the game, and
Yep.
don't even get to it.
And they only,
But look out for them next year.
well, like
huh?
I say, they had 3 seniors and only one really played
Yeah.
significant amount of time.
Yeah.
The 2 best players are sophomores. So,
Yeah.
and then they had a couple of 8th graders on the tournament team. So I think the cover's pretty well stacked for Dan Fredrickson over there. He's a nice guy and deserves that because Cleveland had never been to state. St. Clair had never been to state, so one of them was going to go for the first time. And Charlie Freitag, for those of you that don't know it out there, had signed on to be the Waseca coach here and then resigned before the season started. So he's the coach at St. Clair now. And how ironic, Waseca's going to state and St. Clair's going to state at the same time. And it's a lot of coincidences there.
In the 2A field, the top 2 seeded teams are St. Croix Lutheran, which beat Waseca, and Caledonia. I understand Caledonia played Hopkins during the year and stayed with them for like 15 minutes or so. I mean, into the second half. Ended up losing by 15 or something, but...
And St. Croix Central beat Maple River in that Pepsi tournament over Christmas break. So, there's a lot of familiarity there.
You bet. 3A, as we mentioned, the top 2 seeds are De La Salle, Recruit Center USA, and Red Wing.
Yep.
And in 4A, what a field this will be. Osseo number 1 is 29-0. Hopkins number 2 is 28-1. Apple Valley number 3 is 28-1.
And your point is?
It's going to be a pretty good field.
I know.
It's set up for a Hopkins-Apple Valley semifinal match.
How'd your brother end up?
They lost to Eden Prairie.
Okay.
Eden Prairie was the 4th seed in the section
Jeez.
and beat Shakopee in the semi 68-64.
Okay.
And then beat Edina in the championship. So it's a competitive section, but I'm sure there's a little disappointment up there.
Oh, of course.
The Sabres ended up 22-6.
Jeez, I'd love to have that burger.
By the way,
yes,
little interesting sidelight you'll appreciate. Because,
Andy, you're going to appreciate this.
Because you sat next to him for many years, Mr. Dave Tonoli.
Yes.
His grandson played for Shakopee, is a 6'3" guard. My brother said the best shooter on the team, and he has a possible D1 guy, 6'7" kid that's thinking of D1. Bruce said Booker's definitely our number 2 guy.
I remember Booker's about 2 years old.
He's 6'3", he can stuff. He's their best outside shooter. Dave sent me, who I haven't seen for many years now, a page-and-a-half email on Booker's stats.
Good Lord.
And the colleges he was looking at. And
so what grade's he in?
He graduated.
Oh, he graduated, okay.
He will graduate,
all right.
Yep, very
Booker.
good.
I love that
Booker
name.
Colpeen.
Excuse me. Yeah, Tonoli used to talk your ear off all the time. I remember that.
Well, we're kind of reminiscing today, but I always tell the Dave Tonoli story when I was a sports editor. The first year I'd ask Dave a question and I'd get a And the second year I'd ask him a question and it was always yep or nope, even if it wasn't a yes or no question. And all of a sudden the third year I was his best friend in the world.
I was an assistant coach.
I have that effect on people.
Well, I had to tell him, hey, I want to catch a nap on the bus. He'd just talk my ear off all the time. And you're telling me how quiet he was. And I thought, this can't be the same guy. It just can't be. But it was.
And we should mention that the Waseca Spring Sports sign-up date is tomorrow night at the Commons.
It was here, and it was there, and now it's there, and now it's finally settled on a date.
So if you're going to play a spring sport, you go to the meeting, you have a little 30-minute go over the rules, and then you break up and go to your respective sports.
We already had a golf meeting, and they're looking good,
Okay.
Got some girls and some guys that they put in the time over the summer. And hey, this gorgeous weather coming up. We could be out in the course next week.
A week from Monday, softball and track can begin. On the 21st, baseball and golf can begin.
Yep.
And on the 28th, tennis can start. So, boy, it just goes from one end to the other, and they're talking 60s at the end of the week, Teddy.
Yep.
I'm going to get those clubs out of the closet right now.
Okay. Better check with Matt, though, of course,
I don't think I'll be on the greens yet, although I did drive by yesterday, and the greens look better than the fairways.
Seriously.
They're really green.
We'll get a shovel out there, and we'll shovel off that excess snow, and we can get out there earlier.
Well, it'll be tough putting right now because you got to go around all those branches they got laying on there.
That was smart, whoever did that. It was.
College scene, MSU Mankato, the basketball team 21-9. They finished up 5th in the region in the rankings, they find out tonight if they get in or not. You would think they would
Yeah, you hope.
if they're fifth.
Yep.
Because 8 go. The men's hockey team, 18, 11, and 7. They defeated Bemidji State Friday night 6-1. That gave them a tie.
Yeah.
Last night, though, they lost 1-0. So they ended up tied for the WCHA title, and it cost them the top seed in the playoffs. Michigan Tech gets the top seed. MSU will be 2. They'll start the playoffs this weekend.
What was the name of that cup they won?
McNaughton or something.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
It is.
Something like
I just
that.
want to see what you know. I want to also ask you on Osseo, when you mentioned them being undefeated.
Yep.
What's their nickname?
Orioles.
I love that name.
What's the nickname of Fergus Falls?
I don't know. Hubman.
Otters.
Are you serious?
The
Oh,
Otters.
God. I ought to be someplace else. Yeah, okay.
I made a point of knowing that because I was sure you caught that one.
Oh, geez.
The MSU baseball team, they're 5-2 overall. They lost yesterday, but they are 2-2 so far in their Florida trip.
They want to go undefeated, and they
Yep,
lost their
they
first
lost-
two.
That took care of that thought. Hurry.
What a great goal.
And the MSU softball team, they're 6-4 overall, and I think didn't they start out like 1-4 or something? So
Yeah.
they're turning it up. They're
Coley Reese
Yep.
has got the arm back in shape.
former Mankato East.
Yeah.
As Joel Hayford says, greatest changeup I've ever seen.
Yes.
And they are down in Florida. They've won their first 2 down there.
Yep. You know, you never saw my brother Pat's change up.
No, I never did.
He used to throw a fast pitch. And,
Okay.
one time they threw a rosin bag. They were just screwing around, and the other team almost had a brawl because they couldn't believe they were trying to upstage us by throwing a rosin bag rather than a soft. Yeah, my brother.
Yeah, that's hard to believe.
It really is, isn't it?
The Golden Gusties. Oh, we laughed so hard at the Waseca game. The softball team and the baseball team were working out indoors next to it. The crowd just kept getting bigger in the entryway. By the end of the game, the workouts were done. They were all watching the Waseca Marshall game. It was funny.
Well, I was listening to you on the air, and when you were describing that, I thought, this is really funny. Well, then they showed the highlights on KEYC right after the game was over, and they were on the other end of the where the railing is,
Yep.
and it was down on the end where the baseball team. They're all gathered around that curtain down there
Yep.
watching the game,
Yep.
and all I could think of was your description, and
Yep.
then there it was actually on TV. It was hysterical.
The Gusties, Jeff Annis and his softball team off to a 4-0 start. They played a couple doubleheaders in the Rochester bubble, won all 4.
He had a highlight. How many wins he had? Like 300?
Just past 300, I
Yep.
think. Yep.
And for those who don't know it, he's the AD at Maple River, so he's got a hectic schedule going on right now, scheduling state tournaments and softball games, and great guy.
He heads down to not until the 17th. They head to Arizona. And the baseball team does not start until the 19th. So a little later starts for the major part of their schedule. Jeff at least gets the indoor ones to get going. But they're a little behind. Now, your Golden Gophers, Teddy.
I didn't wear the shirt today, but
Impressive performance against Rutgers.
no, let's put it in perspective, okay?
Well, let's put this in perspective, as someone said.
Yes.
The Gophers lose by 23 to the worst team in the Big Ten. That is no longer the worst team in the Big Ten, even though we're 1 game ahead of them.
Yeah. I felt good for Rutgers because their seniors went out on senior day.
32 conference games they had lost in a row.
And so at least they broke that little trend, and then. But you gotta feel sorry a little bit for the Gopher players that are out there. I think the Blue Jays could give them a little tussle right now, but I mean the season just obviously is tanked. And then when Joey King broke his foot in that last game, that was
I think Nick could step in at the Gophers right now with
yeah.
what they have available.
Well, yeah, he and Hoffaber. Maybe Hoffaber's got a year left. Do those incredible shots if nothing else.
Lost to Wisconsin, lost to Rutgers, 8-22 for the year. Big Ten tournament Wednesday. I think the Gophers are the 13th. Rutgers is the 14th. The Gophers play the 12th, which I think right now is Illinois
Yeah.
in the first round.
They could maybe have some tryouts between now and then.
Yeah. They might have some free agents walking around the campus that would make a bigger impact.
Yeah, the intramural league might have somebody
Yeah.
because it's a big scorer. But yeah, it's sad to look at when it's been decimated the way they have been.
The Gopher women, 19-11, lost to Northwestern. Bad loss, and it might keep them out of the NCAA.
Yep.
They're 19-11. They got to sit around and wait now till Selection Sunday. But if nothing, they'll be going to the NIT for sure.
And Bantam will just add to her scoring record.
Yep. The men's hockey team, 18-15 overall, still in first place in the Big Ten, even after splitting with Michigan State.
But you know what I don't relish it, but when they split up all these teams, you know, and they made the conference different and everything else, and the old conferences are just fine. But that doggone money talking, and we need a Big Ten, you know, conference, and that didn't work out real well.
Well, in last Sunday's paper, they had a big article on how Big Ten hockey's not working.
Yeah.
And the picture was a few people sitting and all the empty stands. And
it'd always be packed. You know, and you had North Dakota. And
those were great rivalries.
Yeah.
The Gophers will play Wisconsin next Friday and Saturday. The women's hockey team, 32-3-1, getting Amanda Kessel back in form. They defeated North Dakota 2-0. They play another battle against Wisconsin. I think those teams are like 2 and 3 in the nation ranked. They play today for the WCHA playoff title.
You ever think they'll have checking in girls hockey at all?
They may.
Okay.
The only thing now is the concussion thing is so prevalent.
Did you see those guys hit yesterday in the AA championship? Oh my God, that was brutal.
The baseball Gophers, they are 1-1 down in Georgia right now. They're 6-3 for the year. They play another game in Georgia today, and then I think next week they're head out to Seattle, Washington.
Hey,
they play 20 in a row on the road to start the season. Great.
My sister used to live in Seattle.
Yeah.
She said it was terrible.
The softball Gophers, 11-5 start. They went 5-0 in Arizona. Great trip. Now they're in Georgia. They're 1-1 down there, and I think they head to Florida next week. So, boy,
God, it'd be nice.
Spring sports, great. Get on a northern team for spring sports, huh? You can plan your school year traveling.
Make sure you got your SPF factor and your suntan lotion because you're not used to that sun, and all of a sudden there you are baking in it.
Minnesota Wild, Teddy, 4 in a row again. Woo, 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 woo. Right now they're in the playoffs.
I saw them yesterday.
31, 25, and 10 overall.
You just got the 2-point warning there.
Okay. They defeated Buffalo in a shootout yesterday.
Okay.
Fun.
Yeah, I was. That doggone, what was, God, who scored the winning goal?
I didn't see the game at all.
Okay, I saw the overtime and I saw the whole thing, but God, why can't I remember the name when I need to? He's a big scorer, and then going in this year, he went in a drought. Now he's just scoring like crazy again. It wasn't Valek. It wasn't Parisi. Pominville. The guy is going nuts this last month, so we need that. Okay.
They play the St. Louis Blues today.
That Torchetti guy, they got him in the playoffs again. Okay.
The Wolves, 20-43, 1-3 for the week, but they defeated Brooklyn last night, 132-118. And here's the future of the Wolves. Towns 28, Wiggins 26, Levine 21.
Yep, and Gorgie Dang or Georgie Gang or Jang or whatever his name is, he did well too. But they set a franchise record for 68% shooting for the game. First time, well, the first time, yes, it's a record.
Monday at Charlotte, Tuesday San Antonio comes to town.
Yep.
And the Twins, 2-1 to start spring training, defeated Baltimore 13-2 yesterday.
I heard the interview with that guy, but from Korea. Yeah, he's got an interpreter.
How did that go
again? Not making fun of him, but
no, that's not why we're laughing at all.
But it is going to be interesting to have him in the dugout.
That will do it.
No, I won't do it. I got an exclusive here.
Okay.
For those of you out there that are looking to coach high school basketball, okay, there's an opening at JWP. It was officially announced on Friday. I turned in my resignation, and I just wanted to say out there to all the Bulldog fans, I enjoyed being over there. They gave me a chance after things didn't work out quite here in Waseca. And whoever gets that job, the table's set for next year. And those kids, you got great chemistry coming back. Last 3 seniors had our banquet. And Jeremiah Sack on our team this year was voted the most valuable player. So congratulations, Jeremiah. I just want to give a wrap-up on the Bulldogs season. So everything's looking good over there right now, and go Bulldogs.
Don't forget to get 4 seasons and get your Blue Jays State Tournament T-shirt starting tomorrow.
And order your tickets through Joe Hedevar in the athletic director's office.
Go to the main office at the high school. Tickets are $25 for a bus ride and a ticket into the game. The bus leaves at 1 o'clock Wednesday.
And the game is at what time?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
Blue Jays versus Fergus Falls, the final quarterfinal game in the 3A field.
Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play today. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. I'm a Blue Jay all the way.
That'll do it for this week's
That's it.
show. Thanks to Hudson and Steve Anderson for producing it. Thanks to Mr. Blue Jay, Ted Hammond, for being here. And thanks to you for watching. Hopefully we'll see you all next week.